The prisoner had plans to do something bold on his very first day in prison. He intentionally tossed a baseball towards the barbed wire, then boldly crossed the security line and walked straight to the wall. Hill was certain this spot was in a blind spot for the German guard's surveillance. However, moments later, the soldier in the watchtower spotted him. Panicked, Hill quickly raised his hands to signal surrender. The gunshot soon alerted the German officer in charge. When the officer aggressively questioned him, Hill remained calm and explained he was simply going to retrieve the ball. The officer believed him and didn't press further. But that night, Hill quietly returned to the spot, and under the cover of darkness, effortlessly escaped. Surprisingly, the very next morning, Hill swaggered back into the prison. His decision to return voluntarily was actually part of a larger plan for a prison break. They planned to dig a tunnel leading to a small forest outside the prison and help 250 prisoners escape together. Hill's earlier escape was just to familiarize himself with the outside terrain. The digging required proper tools. So one prisoner intentionally broke the faucet, getting the guards' clothes wet. Everyone quickly gathered to watch. Another prisoner seized the chance to crawl under a car, skillfully removing 2 iron bars, and then handed them off to a fellow inmate inside the room. They had lookout positions around the cell, while a few inside quickly moved the stove with wooden planks, which had already been selected as the tunnel's entrance. The tools made from the iron bars were passed inside. Before starting, they needed to notify their outside companions. The work inside had to match the construction outside, so the digging sounds would be covered up perfectly. However, digging such a long tunnel raised the issue of handling the excavated dirt. One clever prisoner made long cloth bags, which fit perfectly into the legs of his pants. By pulling the string, the dirt would quietly fall out along his pants. So, during their daily exercises, the dirt dropped by the person in front was almost perfectly handled by the person behind them. But as the tunnel got deeper, oxygen supply became an issue. They built a simple blower, but they still needed a long enough pipe. To cover the sound of making the pipes, they arranged for a group to sing loudly outside. Yet during the excavation, a tunnel collapse occurred. Fortunately, his companions rescued him in time. This was the third similar incident. They needed more wooden planks to support the tunnel. Desperate, they secretly took down the wooden planks from the roof, and even removed parts of the wall hidden behind cabinets, taking a plank from every third piece of the bed. Finally, after much struggle, they had gathered enough wooden planks. 3 months later, they used a rope to measure the tunnel's length and realized they were getting closer to the day of success. The next morning, everyone gathered on the field, celebrating the freedom that was about to come. However, just as they were immersed in their celebration, the German captain had already noticed their suspicious behavior and quickly ordered a search of the cells. One of the guards soon discovered something under the stove.